All right, battle is starting in five, four, three, two, one.
Damn it.
Why does it always give me the worst weapons? I don't want a broken sword, an axe, and two pieces of meat in my
Yes, I
hotbar.
killed him!
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Chaos Terminal. My name is Michael, and this is everything you need to know about PvP in LEGO Fortnite Odyssey. If you're new to the channel, give us a like, and subscribe down below so that you don't miss any of our LEGO Fortnite content. We post every single day, so we are glad to have you here. And without further ado, let's get on to player versus player in LEGO Fortnite Odysseys.
Yeah, so actually, it's a good time to talk about that. I'm trying to set this up for real player versus player long-term gameplay, right? So
Yeah, like some Minecraft server.
like Minecraft server, yeah, or Ark or Rust, where if you're offline and someone raids your base and steals all your loot, that sucks. Should have been online, right?
Yeah. The
So
thing
that's
is,
kind of the plan
if
for
it was
this.
Minecraft, you could just hide. You could
Yeah,
build your base underground. Here you can't.
nope. You can do it in caves. Caves don't show up on maps. Oh, who's down?
Alright, you might already be able to tell, but we're structuring this video a little bit differently than normal, and that's because there's a lot to cover with PvP. So the first type of PvP, the first style, let's call it, that we're going to teach today is called Shadow Style. To set your world up for Shadow Style PvP, you either need to already have the following settings or you're going to need to make a new world. It'll need to be a survival world with respawn turned on, with backpacks and player versus player combat. No item spawner, no free knowledge. This setup is critical. What it means is when players are collecting resources and sleeping in beds to change their respawn point, you will be able to go around and raid their loot, break their beds, defeat them, send them back to spawn, putting yourself at a huge advantage relative to them. Now, what do I mean by a huge advantage? Because there is actually a goal to Shadow Style PvP. The goal of Shadow Style is to collect more Rift Shards than any other player. Survive by hiding loot and building better charms and weapons. Defeat players by looting bases, destroying beds, and through player versus player combat. Now, collecting Rift Shards serves two purposes. First, it limits the number of bus stations, forcing players to travel physically across the map. This turns a 10-minute fight between two players with wooden knives into a large-scale battle with hidden bases and vehicles rolling up to lay siege. Second, it offers an easy way to determine a winner, should the world owner decide to ever call it a day on PvP. The individual player who can present the most Rift Shards is considered the wealthiest, or the winner. Shadow Style leaves choices up to the players. Should they wish to team up, that's up to them, but only one person can ultimately be on top. There are no rules keeping you safe.
Kind of. We figured out how to make a jail cell.
Hey, I can get you out.
Nice. At least we know that works for a jail cell, because you can't break it with your fists.
Yeah, you can just also use not concrete, I mean granite. Just make it and then just don't give anyone else inventory loot. So they're just stuck in there.
Honestly,
And
it's
you
a
can
pretty
do
good
that at
idea.
spawn.
'Cause
And you can now spawn with like a one-way door which uses balloons to open and a button, so they're just stuck in there until you let them out.
That would honestly be really good for PvP. So let's say you and I were fighting and you broke my bed over here, right? This bed. If
Yeah.
you break my bed and then you defeat me, I'm going to go back to spawn instead of here, right? So if I have no bed when I die, I'll end up back at spawn. And if you built a jail cell at spawn, I'll spawn in the jail cell, right?
Yeah, I did that on one of my worlds. Sadly, Lucas just figured out how to get out. He just pushed it, and then it just flew out.
That's funny.
How to play Shadow-style PvP. Once you have a key and are in the world, everything is fair game. Hide in caves to stay off the map, break enemy beds to force them back to spawn, and steal the loot from their backpacks to increase your own wealth. There is no such thing as griefing in Shadow mode. Anything you build or hide is available for someone to break even if you're offline. There are no artificial securities or rules besides what is available in the base game given these settings. Any valuables you have on you when you log off stay secure. But if you die to another player while holding all your rift shards, they will rob your loot in 180 seconds. Now, this is a question from someone in our Discord server. If you're not in our Discord, we've got a link down below. Would love to have you. They asked, why have rift shards at all? Why not let people just PvP? So we addressed earlier that it does allow for physical transportation across the map instead of teleportation. But bus stations, they can be useful during Shadow-style PvP, but for the most part, they're just going to make it more difficult. Teleportation changes how you play combat in ways that are difficult to explain. But if you don't believe me, you are welcome to try it without doing the rift shards. You can just have combat. Don't set yourself a soft goal. I will say that rift shards are only used to make limited late game items, so you will end up with a lot of them anyway. Rather than have them clog your inventory, consider letting them represent currency. Consider how friendly players might trade rift shards for ruined weapons or pre-made vehicles. If you're not sure you can win on your own, teaming up with people even for a short while is a really good strategy, if you trust them. Another great currency to consider is cheese. Cheese doesn't have an inherent value like rift shards, so it's up to your server how you want to run currency. You may choose to ditch it entirely in favor of just pure combat. No mercy. The last question on Shadow-style PvP. Can you join our server? Yes, we have a Discord link down below, and we're going to use that to get as many people into our PvP worlds as possible. Our servers are going to be set up through the end of the summer LEGO season, approximately, and we are offering a prize to each one of our winners from each particular PvP world. The individual player from each of the PvP servers with the most rift shards will win either a LEGO pass, a build kit, decor bundle, or skin of their choice given the store options at the time. We don't do V-Buck giveaways, we just do gifts from the store. So if you are not friends with us yet, go ahead and click that link down below and join our Discord. We're very excited to meet you.
Oh my god.
Those daggers just deal damage.
No. Review one and he won.
He just wiped all of
He
us.
just dashed into us. Oh, he's just that good.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
That's crazy. Okay.
Triple reason.
Alright, now that you've gotten the gist of Shadow-style PvP, it's time to talk about the other style, Chaos-style. If Shadow-style is a survival world, where your goal is to slowly build currency and defeat your enemies through stealth, Chaos-style is a sandbox world, where you are altering your settings to allow for item spawning, to allow for respawning, to allow for fast-paced, quick combat. To set your world up for Chaos style, here's the settings you'll need. Sandbox, with respawn and backpack turned on. Of course, you'll need player versus player combat, and it's up to you on if you turn on item spawner and free knowledge. Chaos style of PvP allows players to set up fortifications and weaponry before combat begins. Join with other players to choose a spot on the map and get to work in sandbox mode. As long as all players agree on the rules, you can alter your settings to match Shadow style or whatever style of PvP you want. Since Sandbox is turned on, at least at the beginning, a central currency doesn't make sense. So just have fun battling. You can always turn settings on and off to allow players to rebuild their base or vehicle and get back to the fight. Leaving flight on for combat can be fun too. Unlike Shadow Style, Chaos PvP requires at least 2 players to be in the world at the same time, but it does allow for immediate battling. Do not break other people's builds in this mode, unless you've already agreed to battle beforehand. This is not Shadow Style. You are only playing online with people who are agreeing to battle. No griefing.
Nothing compares to the daggers.
Unless the hammer. The hammer's also good.
That's true. Should I just turn on item spawner real quick so we can try?
Yes. So.
My daggers are almost broke.
So, can you join our Chaos PvP server? Just like our Shadow one, yes you can. Click on that Discord link down below and we'll get you into our sandbox world. But unlike Shadow Style, we are not offering a giveaway on this one. This one's just going to be for fun. And trust me, it has been so far. All of the footage you've seen so far has been Chaos Style. And hey, if you've made it this far in the video, consider leaving us a like and a subscribe. We post LEGO Fortnite content every single day, so we're really happy to have you a part of our growth. The last trick I'm going to share with you on Chaos Style is if you are the world owner, always leave your world with item spawner and free knowledge turned on. That way, when players hop on and there's no other players to battle with, they're still able to make their own base and vehicle, and then it will be ready as soon as someone logs in.
Alright. My bag just dropped, so let's see if you guys can steal my loot before I get back to
it's
it.
in 107. It's in 180 seconds.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. You have to guard that loot and keep me from getting it. I don't have any weapons, so it should be easy, but if I get to it before, right, then I get all my loot back. That's part of the...
Lucas, let's protect them so we can't get it.
Yeah, essentially, it's all about just controlling the resources.
Wow. No, he's fighting me.
Yeah.
This
I'm gonna see if I can steal my loot without you guys killing me. Ooh, I got it! I got it! Oh, it set me up with terrible loot. Why did it set me up with a broken freaking sword?
Alright, I think that's all we got for PvP for today's video. We do have more PvP tips and tricks coming. As for the rest of this video today, I always like to leave you with an inspirational build. So today we have, let's call it the Clone Turbo Tank. Kind of looks like such. The later model even is a little bit more shaped to match it. On the last episode of Chaos Class, we built a double-decker battle bus, and then our friend Brick Trooper made one as well. So Brick Trooper's been helping us out throughout this video. Make sure you go into the link below and subscribe to his channel too. He makes all sorts of fun LEGO Fortnite builds. Alright, with Chaos Class out of the way, let's take a peek at this Clone Turbo Tank. That's a little generous in my opinion, but it's inspired by such. We've got 4 powered wheels on each side, as well as our steering wheels, thrusters. It drives forwards and backwards with a driver's seat to face either way. Obviously, you've got your little post up top. What do we call that? A crow's nest? It's a tank. There is a little bit of storage inside and room to walk around. It drives well. It harvests well. The only trouble I have with it is difficult going over hills. The dry valley is a little tricky for it, right? But let's take this guy for a spin. Let's see how it handles. So here I've actually dropped myself into the second seat. You can see it looks like we're driving backwards, but in fact this is forwards. The driver's seat just faces both directions on this vehicle, just like the real Clone Turbo Tank from Star Wars does. I decided I wasn't going to post my tutorial for this version of the turbo tank because I've already actually figured out the V2 and it's going to be better and it's going to be easier to reproduce. This one's a little bit undersized. I think it can be bigger and still use those same wheels, so that's what I'm figuring out for the tutorial. That'll come in the future. For now, thank you so much for liking and subscribing to the Chaos Terminal, and we will see you next time for even more PvP. Bye!